Have you ever noticed something weird? Some people look at a tough problem for a few seconds and just get it, while others are still trying to figure out where to even begin. Most people call that intelligence, but what if it's not? What if school never really taught you the one brain trick that actually makes learning easier? From an early age, you were taught to memorize letters, multiplication tables, dates, formulas, definitions. And if you forgot them on a test, you lost points. Over time, your brain picked up a simple rule. Learning means remembering. But the brain wasn't built to store everything. It was built to recognize patterns. Think of 1,000 puzzle pieces scattered on the floor. At first, it just looks like chaos. But once you spot the pattern, everything suddenly makes sense. The pieces didn't change, your understanding did. That's how learning actually works. The best students aren't always the best memorizers. They're the ones who notice connections other people miss. Kids learning language are a perfect example. No one starts by teaching them grammar rules. They hear words, pick up patterns, make mistakes, and slowly figure things out without even realizing it. They don't memorize sentences, they absorb structure. So ask yourself, when did school ever really teach you to look for patterns instead of just finding answers? Try this example. Two students solve the same math problem. One tries to remember formulas. The other asks, what pattern is this following? The second student usually gets there faster. Same brain, different approach. This shows up everywhere. Chess players don't calculate every possible move. Doctors don't memorize every disease. Musicians don't think about every single note. They recognize patterns. And your brain already does this naturally. That's why driving felt impossible at first. But now, you can do it without thinking. Repetition turns complicated actions into simple patterns. Learning works the same way. But most people quit right before the pattern shows up. Thinking confusion means they're failing. In reality, confusion is often just the moment right before things click. Think about anything you've learned. Riding a bike, typing, reading. At first it was hard, then suddenly it wasn't. That wasn't magic, it was pattern recognition. People who learn quickly aren't just gifted. They're just better at organizing information into patterns, which makes everything easier to understand. So instead of asking, how do I memorize this? Try asking, what pattern is this built on? That one small shift changes everything. You stop chasing random information and start seeing structure. And once you see structure, learning gets faster, easier, and honestly a lot more fun. Maybe that's the real thing school missed. Not because it was hidden, but because memorization is just easier to test than actual thinking. The real skill isn't remembering more. It's noticing what other people overlook. So next time someone solves a problem instantly, don't just wonder how smart they are. Ask yourself, what pattern did they see that I didn't? Everyone has a unique gift. God created each of us with a special purpose. The only thing you need is the courage to discover who you truly are.